The year 2026 is no longer about content creation. We've officially moved past the era of just making videos and entered the high-stakes era of attention engineering. If you're watching this right now, you are standing on the edge of the single greatest wealth transfer event in digital history. For years, most creators treated YouTube Shorts as a side income. But after 2024, that hierarchy has been completely inverted. The vertical feed is no longer a secondary platform. It is the primary engine of global digital commerce. The landscape we are playing in today is defined by a massive 200 billion view per day ecosystem. In the United States alone, 192 million active users are scrolling through vertical feeds every single day. But here is the critical shift that most people are missing. The monetization model has evolved from the old, unpredictable Shorts fund lottery to a high-fidelity revenue sharing model that finally rivals traditional television. For the first time in history, it is not only possible but actually easier to build a consistent six-figure monthly income without ever making a single video longer than 60 seconds. However, despite this unprecedented opportunity, most creators are failing. They are failing because they are applying 2024 strategies to a 2026 algorithm. They are getting stuck in what we call view jail. Their revenue is stagnant, their reach is capped, and they feel like the game is rigged against them. They treat the algorithm like a slot machine when they should be treating it like a precision calculator. Today, we are going to solve finding the right niche problem, the 0 view, 15K, and 30K view jail problems with surgical data. I'm going to show you why starting today is actually easier than it was 3 years ago, provided you have the right architecture. We are going to turn your channel from a hobby into a high CPM digital franchise. We are entering the era of the sovereign creator, where your ability to engineer attention is the only currency that matters. The foundation of this architecture begins with finding your high-velocity niche. The biggest mistake 99% of creators make happens before they ever hit the upload button. They choose the wrong niche. In 2026, passion is a secondary metric. Demand density is the primary metric. If you want to make real money, you have to find a niche where advertiser demand is skyrocketing, but the creator supply is inefficient, outdated, or low quality. The old way of doing research, opening an incognito tab and scrolling for hours, is pretty usual. By the time you see a channel blowing up in your feed, you are already too late. The algorithm has already crowned an alpha creator, and hundreds of clones are already fighting for the leftover impressions. When you enter a niche that is already peak saturated, you are fighting for the scraps. This is the fastest way to land in the 15K view jail. You are trying to buy real estate in a city that is already fully developed. Use a niche finder that scans the YouTube API to find the outliers, such as NextLev, Algro. If you want them, I will put link in the description. Once you have your niche, you will inevitably hit the checkpoints. The algorithm uses these checkpoints to filter out low quality, automated, or untrusted content. If your views stop at a specific number, you aren't being shadow banned, you are being audited. Let's look at level 1, the 0 view jail. This is the trust protocol. You upload a video, wait 24 hours, and see 0 views and 0 impressions. It feels like you're shouting into a void. In 2026, the platform is under constant assault by massive AI bot farms designed to manipulate metrics and steal ad revenue. Consequently, the algorithm has a quarantine zone for any account that it cannot verify as human. If you create a new account and immediately start uploading, you look like a script. If you use a dormant account and suddenly start posting, you look like a hacked profile. The algorithm is also checking your device fingerprint and IP reputation. If you've had failed channels on the same device, you are flagged from day one. The medicine for this is proving you are a God-made human through human entity signals. For the first 14 days of a channel's life, do not post. Instead, you must engage. Watch videos in your niche, leave comments that actually get liked, and subscribe to high-authority creators. You are teaching the algorithm who you are as a consumer before you ask it to trust you as a producer. You are building a channel trust score. Once the algorithm identifies a human baseline, it will unlock the first tier of impressions. Next is level 2, the 15K view jail. This is the packaging threshold. Your videos consistently hit 10,000 to 15,000 views and then stop completely. You've passed the human test, but now you're failing the packaging test. At 15K views, the algorithm expands your content from your seed audience people who definitely like your niche to a general audience people who might like it. In 2026, the key metric here is the viewed vs. swiped away ratio. If your swipe away rate is higher than 30% during this expansion, the algorithm halts distribution. It concludes that while your core niche likes you, the general public finds you boring. To the algorithm, a swipe away is a negative signal that tells it to stop recommending your video to protect the user's dopamine loop. The medicine is re-engineering the second zero. This is the very first frame of your video. In 2026, you don't have 3 seconds to hook a viewer. You have 500 milliseconds. You need visual displacement, an image that is visually illogical, like a cat in a suit or a man holding a giant gold bar. This triggers the brain's orienting reflex, forcing the thumb to pause. Then, you need a cognitive opening. Never start with "in this video." Start with the result. "This is how I turned $10 into $10,000 in 48 hours. This creates a psychological tension gap that the viewer feels an innate need to close by watching the rest of the video. Then we hit level 3, the 30K view jail. This is the competitive gap. You are hitting 30K to 50K views, but you can never break into the millions. At 30K views, the algorithm is comparing your data directly against the top 1% of creators in your niche. If a competitor has a video on the same topic with a 2% higher retention density, the algorithm will divert the traffic to them. You are losing because of competitive friction. You are just slightly below the global standard for viral content. The medicine is the novelty premium. In 2026, better is not enough. Different is the only way to win. If every creator in your niche is using AI voiceovers, you must use a high-fidelity human clone or your own voice. If they are using fast-paced editing, you must use deep pacing with cinematic transitions. You break the 30K jail by finding the outlier logic, offering a perspective or a visual style that the market leaders are ignoring. You must also focus on rewatchability. If a viewer watches your short twice, the algorithm considers that a super signal and will bypass the 30K threshold regardless of your swipe away rate. To consistently hit the 2026 viral benchmark of a 73% retention rate, your content cannot be random. It must follow the 3-act micro-story framework. This is a scientific approach to storytelling designed for hyper-diminished attention spans. Act 1 is the sensory opening, spanning the first 5 seconds. This is where you establish the stakes. You must use kinetic typography, moving text that appears word by word. This forces the viewer to read while they listen, creating a dual-channel processing effect that doubles engagement. The hook must be bold, and the visual must be high contrast. Use a sonic hook, a specific sound effect like a whoosh or a ding that signals to the brain that something important is happening. Act 2 is the pattern interruption, from 5 to 50 seconds. Once you have the hook, the challenge is maintaining the dopamine response. In 2026, you must utilize visual tempo. A scene change or a visual shift must occur every 2.2 seconds. This is an attention reset. Information density is key here. Every sentence must provide a new piece of value. There is no room for filler. If you can delete a word and the sentence still makes sense, delete it. Use micro hooks like "but here's the catch," or "most people miss this next part," to keep the viewer from swiping midway through. You can also use what I call the uncanny factor AI-generated B-roll that is slightly surreal. This forces the viewer's brain to work harder to process the image, which naturally increases their time on the video. Act 3 is the payoff and high logic CTA. In the final 10 seconds, the final act must deliver the resolution. If Act 1 promised a secret, Act 3 must deliver that secret with undeniable proof. Provide that aha moment. The old "like and subscribe" is dead. The modern viewer responds to utility CTAs. You must offer a tangible reason to engage. The reason starting today is easy is because you are no longer a video editor, you are a creative director. In 2026, the human-in-the-loop workflow allows you to produce high-fidelity content in minutes, not hours. We use tools like Algro and NextLev for strategic intelligence to find the niche and the topic, eliminating creative block. We use AI scripting engines to prompt for retention-first architecture, hitting psychological triggers every few seconds. We use generative video engines for commercial-grade B-roll and AI voice clones for perfect audio texture. This ensures your brand remains consistent across every upload. We don't search for stock footage. We synthesize exactly what we need. Now, let's talk about the money. Not all views are created equal. The algorithm utilizes a viewer quality index. A view from a high-intent user looking for financial solutions is worth 10 times more than a view from someone looking for cat memes. Success in 2026 is about vertical integration. Your shorts are the top of the funnel that drive traffic to a multi-layered revenue stream. As we move deeper into new new era, a new trend has emerged, the authenticity paradox. In a world saturated with hyper-polished AI content, rawness has become a luxury. High-performing creators know how to use AI for efficiency but keep the human signals intact. This means keeping natural breaths and pauses in the voiceover. It means using handheld camera movements instead of perfectly stable shots. It means showing a consistent persona, because people subscribe to people, not pixels. The algorithm now has a trust quotient. It measures how much an audience believes you based on engagement patterns and sentiment analysis of your comments. High trust leads to high save and share counts. To reach the elite tier 100 million views and beyond, you must move from a single channel to a multi-channel network of one. You treat your content like a factory. Phase 1 is warming, 14 days of human engagement to prime the algorithm. Phase 2 is testing, using Algro to find 3 high CPM niches and posting daily in each on separate accounts. Phase 3 is scaling, identifying the niche with the highest retention density and doubling down while shutting down the others. Phase 4 is iterating, using heat maps in your analytics to find exactly where people are dropping off and fixing those dips in your next video. The year 2026 is the golden age of vertical media. The view jails are not barriers. They are the filters that ensure only the most analytical and resilient creators reach the top. You have the tools. You have the medicine for the jails. You have the Algro advantage. For your final technical review, ensure every video you post meets these 2026 industrial standards: a 73% retention rate at the 30-second mark, a 70% viewed ratio to break the 15K jail, a 6% engagement rate with a focus on shares and saves to break the 30K jail, and a frequency of 1 high-fidelity unit every 24 hours to maintain recency velocity. The path to a 6-figure digital income is no longer a mystery. It is a calculated sequence of data-driven decisions. The 200 billion views are being distributed right now. The only remaining variable is your execution. If you are ready to stop being a victim of the algorithm and start being its architect, the time to act is now. The view jail is a choice. The niche you choose today will determine your revenue for the next 12 months. Start finding the outliers before they become mainstream. Don't rush the warming phase. Master the second zero, and remember that your first frame is your entire business. If you found this technical breakdown helpful, it's because you are part of the 1% who actually cares about the data. You aren't just looking for clout, you're looking for a blueprint. I'll see you in the next deep dive, where we will break down the exact AI prompting frameworks for 2026. Until then, get your data, fix your hooks, and let's go out and dominate the feed.